So, two things. One, I've only just updated my phone, so maybe a couple notifications be like, hey, your phone has been updated. As if I literally didn't push the button myself. I'm not the kind of person that hit schedule later. When an update is available, I download it instantly. Even though you shouldn't really do that. Two, what was the two? Oh yeah, that's it. You can't excuse my stomach and possibly my tongue. I had some really spicy food today. Like, I know I said that Monday, but this was even spicier. Anyway, the school on Wednesday the 5th. Yep, of October 2022. I decided to take a big risk because I needed to say some stuff to both heads a year, and as I've pointed out, whenever you need to see the male head a year, he's not there. Whenever you don't, he's breathing down your neck. So this was the only chance that I really had to talk to him. So, while the assembly, I went up to him and said, "Did the mentor talk to you yesterday?" No. I explained I need to be removed from my role because I don't have time. Well, tough, basically. Nothing I can do about it. Anyway. And as for the female head of year, I said, so remember that thing you told the mentor to do on Monday? She said no. And female head of year was basically like, good. And finally, before I left, I went to see if the duties had been updated. They haven't. So I went to class. Went in, everything was normal. We're learning about the Times now, and the Times say they're a centrist newspaper, but really the right wing. Here's the statistics to prove it. I'm too lazy to do it, but I bet you, if you go onto the Times website, well, okay, you'll need to pay £26 a month to get into it, so it's going to be hard to tell. Because don't pay £26 a month for any newspaper. But, guarantee you, most of the articles, if not all of them, will have a left-wing bias. A spot on my... don't even know what you would call that. Oh, let me check it out. Yeah, I can't do that about that spot. Anyway. So it was like, oh, they printed the same article twice. Because it was like, Theresa May looks really sick. We're concerned for her. And then they did the same thing for Bojo when he looked really sick. When I saw the photo from afar, I thought it was the photo of... I'm sorry, I don't remember Elizabeth's husband's name. But the image from right before he died, where he just... he looked like Darth Sidious. Anyway, at break, I went to the library because I was like, I didn't want to be like, oh, why weren't you at the library to help out with this thing? I went, what the hell do you want me to do? Like, I asked the librarian if there's something I can help with, and she said, yeah, I do need help, but you can't, like, physically. Because she's helping, like, she's just, like, scanning the books and saying, we have 2 weeks to read this and give it back. And because there's only one computer and one scanner, I can't do anything. So, anyway. So, went there because, oh, you're supposed to help as the prefect for literacy in the library. There's nothing I can do to help. All I did there was get in people's way. Anyway. Sorry, I'm trying to think what's next. Right, yeah, of course. Period 3, I went to earning support, and there was a person there from some organisation, and we had a talk. It was like a mentoring session, but with someone else. It was so are you doing well? No. Why? Here's why. Oh, okay. Well, actually, you are not doing bad. You're doing great. You just don't have the confidence. Like, I explained to her the homeworks, and I explained incident 1. I didn't explain 2 or 3 to her, though. And for once, I got sympathy for incident 1. So that was great. But it did feel quite... Grammatically, this word won't make sense in the sentence, but I'm going to say it anyway. It felt empty. And I don't mean I feel empty. I mean, it just... The meeting felt empty. Only way I can describe it. Anyway, the study teacher will be off all week because of something that happened yesterday that I won't get into. If you know, you know. If you don't, ask anyone and they'll tell you. Because with what happened, it spread quickly because people find it funny because they hate the mentor. Anyway, they took down the GD rota, then they put it back up, and it's exactly the same. I still have GD on a Wednesday at lunch at the same place. I also have GD on Friday at lunch, same time, same place. So, it's like taking something down and replacing it with a photocopy. In fact, that's exactly what it is. If not, just taking it down and putting it back up. I think that's it for today. Because nothing much else happened. The English teacher was off today. And even then, wouldn't be anything worth talking about in English because the absolute legend left yesterday. So this Twitter as of 17 past 7 p.m. Globetrotting botanists beaten to death and fed to crocodiles. Don't trot the globe. I keep on trying to tell you people this, but you keep on not listening and you keep on dying. Excuse my PlayStation. Correct. It's been doing that a lot. Like I'm honestly concerned. I think it's got something to do with the fact that I'm not gonna go on that yet because I'll explain that later. But I had it horizontally because I don't want to say safer because that makes it seem like I rely on my PlayStation, but I don't. But obviously it's got more of a chance of falling and breaking if it's vertical. But I don't really have a choice but to have vertical now that I'm in this room. Anyway. So Advanced Warfare 2. I really hope this isn't now announcing that Advanced Warfare 2 is coming out because that's probably the last game that we want. Okay, so since this seems to be trending, people seem to be talking about it. Oh, But I mean, surely I get it said 2025 there. Whoops. Good 20. The problem with this is that for some reason Activision done 20 or sorry not Activision Treyarch did 2020 call. They made Black They made Cold War in 2020 when 2020 was supposed to be Sledgehammer's turn, because Sledgehammer did World War II, Treyarch did Black Ops 4, Infinity Ward did Modern Warfare 4, so it should have been Sledgehammer in 2020, but then, as I just said, they did. And then it was Sledgehammer last year with Vanguard. So this year is Treyarch, Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 5. And next year, I'm going to guess will be Treyarch with Black Ops 6, because the last time they made a non-Black Ops title was 2008. And even then, World at War is connected to Black Ops directly. But I'm glad that people are like this person. You know, if you didn't like the first Advanced Warfare, just say you're crap. Also, don't know what comp is called, was amazing during Advanced Warfare. Yeah, I like. I talked with people about this, and I was like, I say that Black Ops 3 is crap, but Advanced Warfare was good. It's like, when, and they really complained when I said this. Black Ops 3 is exactly the same as Advanced Warfare. Because honestly, what's the difference? The only difference I can think of is that in Advanced Warfare, it's a double jump, where in Black Ops 3, it's a hover. Only difference. So if you're going to call Advanced Warfare crap, you have to call Black Ops 3 crap. And if you're going to call Black Ops 3 good, you have to call Advanced Warfare good. But the last time that COD was genuinely good, like, I like Advanced Warfare, but the last time it was genuinely good, as in good story, good multiplayer, good third option for what I'm about to say, it's zombies, Black Ops 2. And a hell of a lot of people agree with me. Dory is for fascists. Why is Thelma a lesbian? Thelma fancies Shaggy. I'm not a fan of Scooby-Doo, but I love Mystery Inc. And a Mystery Inc. she loves Shaggy. The problem is Shaggy cares more about Scooby than Thelma. Welcome to season 11 won't have the same ending as the comic because it's impossible to do that now. Right. Spoilers for anyone who's going to read the comic, but the way the comic ends is that Rick dies at the end of the second last issue. Now, I don't know if the show did this, but after the Whisperer War, they go to a place called the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth is the most advanced place that we've seen ever in the comics. And they even have like a president or a prime minister or whatever, someone that leads. I'm pretty sure it's called the Commonwealth. I've read the comics 3 years ago now, so it's been a while. But they have a president, they have a leader, but Rick finds out that she's corrupt, and he proves it. And the leader's son, who is basically like Hunter Biden, gets pissed off and kills Rick. And then the last issue cuts about 20 years later, where the walkers are basically extinct. They're still around, but not much of a threat. And it's gotten to the point where they're actually sold into us like slaves. And like carnival freaks. The reason why they can't do that in the show is because that's what the spin-off World Beyond is about. So, and that's typical for The Walking Dead, because season 2 of the show was based off of issue 6, the comic. Like, in the comic, they go to Herschel's farm, they find out Shane's a prick, they kill Shane, they leave. That's it. But for the show, it's like, I'm not going to do the maths, but it's 13 40-minute episodes. Whereas episode 1 adapted issue 1. Oh, and also Daryl is now the lead since Rick left, and Daryl just doesn't exist in the comics. That's the only good thing I have to say about the show. The fact that they created Daryl and Meryl, because they're badass characters. Netflix is... I looked this up. Netflix is Blonde is receiving backlash because people didn't realize that it's based off of a book. And the book is not... It's fiction. So, in the book and the movie, there's a scene where Marilyn Monroe has sex with JFK. That didn't happen in real life, but the reason why it happens in the film and book is because the book took all the rumors about Marilyn Monroe and made them real. And it was rumored that she slept with JFK. So they put it in the film and the book. As the sun sets and whatever the hell that is begins, Casey DeSantis and I wish all our Jewish friends an easy and meaningful fast. Gemar, I don't speak Israeli, I guess. I don't know what language that is. US is sending another $625 million to Ukraine. Florida is trying to recover from a hurricane. Okay, so I'm surprised this happened. This wasn't in the trending page, but Elon has now actually bought Twitter. So, will he let us say it? Don't hold your hopes. Yeah, I can't make actual art. Yeah, I prefer the real thing. It's modern. Oh, he's still doing Among Us. I've already... Wait, this is different actually, because I remember the final results were in for that last one I read out, and it was more people said no. Let's try this then. The will of the people who live in the Donbass and Crimea should decide whether they're part of Russia or Ukraine. 59% said yes. Okay, so I didn't finish Paul's piece from yesterday because I didn't have the time. So, here we go. Journalist Glenn Greenwald noted Monday that talks to desecrate or end the conflict in Ukraine are virtually non-existent because the legacy media and political elites have nurtured an atmosphere where to do so is considered unpatriotic. Political commentator Richard Medhurst joins me to discuss he really blew up the pipelines on why the military-industrial complex wants to prolong and escalate the war in Ukraine. While Dutch citizens struggle to heat their homes and pay for groceries, the government has just paid for thousands of illegal immigrants to enjoy free accommodation, food and entertainment on board a 5-star luxury cruise ship docked in Amsterdam. For those of you asking, yes, I do think this site can and will change pretty dramatically if Elon gets full control over it. No, there is no immediate replacement. If it gets done early enough based on the people he's aligned with, yes, it could actually affect midterms. Well, I mean, if you don't like it, just build your own Twitter. Dumbass reporter admits that platform manipulation is the only way for Democrats to win elections. Not news to us, but beautiful to see an honest admission for once, even if it made out of fear of truth. Accidentally great Fred by a ridiculous NBC journalist admitting how Twitter has been manipulating us the whole time, progressive sphere and even playing field because their ideas are terrible.
No. Why? Because people understand now that footballers taking the knee are not neo-Marxist ideologues. They're people saying, no, I won't have racism. No, I won't allow my friends to suffer racism. Like Martin Luther King taking a knee in prayer. They're just saying, this is where I kneel. This is where I take, in a sense, my stand with my friends and say we're going to go forward together as equals. That's what the 2022 group is about. It's about us as equals, having equal opportunity, being friends together, and my goodness, you look beautiful tonight. No. Why? Because people understand.
Sorry, my tablet nearly dropped there. Can somebody check on Steve Baker? First, he apologised to Ireland for Brexit. Now he's siding with BLM, which is a Marxist organisation. The Tories are heading off a cliff, consumed by identity politics. Right. See if the country is ever going to recover in any way. One of two things need to happen. One of three things need to happen. One, the Tories need to sort their mess out and realise that. So, all the Tory members who do what Steve Baker is doing right now, anyone like Steve Baker, need to leave the party and join Labour, because that's what they are. They're a slow Labour. All real Tories stay. Hopefully we can get some more proper Tories in, and they go back. Option 2. UKIP stops playing Game of Thrones, picks an actual leader for once, settles down, and gets into power. Option 3, a new party. Women are being murdered in Iran, yet the same folks who freaked out over Andrew Tate's silence make it make sense. Western feminism is really fake, isn't it? Russia may have packed explosives on the Nord Stream pipelines during construction. Just making up crazy stuff on the fly now. Yeah, why would they do that? Make it make sense, come on. Police officers will attend all at-home burglaries for first time. But who's going to interrogate people for mean tweets?
No, I did a story on, I think it was Thursday last week. No evidence US involved in Nord Stream pipeline from Fox News' Jennifer Griffin. She went on air and said that. No evidence. Her source? Because the Pentagon said so. Oh, great. Case closed.
Wow.
Done and dusted. And also, on top of that, it's not enough for them to control the media and have their narrative pushed out 24/7 with no room for any dissent whatsoever and to vilify the people who do dissent. They then have the fact-checker industrial complex that complements that on top of it. And again, it's just an extension of the media. Trust in media is at its lowest it's ever been. They're never going to get that back. People's analytical skills are on high alert whenever they watch mainstream media now, which is why I've done videos about how they're inserting the social media, the social engineering, the propaganda into soap operas, into television shows and stuff like that. No one trusts the media. So now they've invented this fact-checker industrial complex like it's independent from the media. It's an extension of the media. And we've had so many examples of fabricated fake headlines in this war.
Yeah.
You know, the ghost of Kiev, which on the face of it was ludicrous.
Oh,
We've
wow.
had the fake Holocaust memorial attack, which never happened. Israeli journalists visited it afterwards. It was unscathed. The mobile crematoriums that were taken from a 2013 YouTube video. The slaughter of Ukrainian soldiers, the Snake Island incident, which again, never happened. They surrendered. In fact, I checked this before we recorded this interview, Richard.
Why is trust in the news at an all-time low? Because now legacy media control the fact-checkers too. You have to respect Roger Waters. Don't grave him on a lot, but he could have safely retired with a massive pile of money and had a quiet life. Instead, he's 79 and is still a constant irritant to the regime. Few such cases. Biden, I guess. Like, he could have been, a nursing home, just letting dementia take over, saying goodbye to his family, but no, he has to screw over the country. I'm playing a 7-minute video. We've got to stop the boats crossing the channel. Home Secretary Person outlines her plans for combating illegal immigration, saying we need to make the Rwanda scheme work. Great speech, but Tories have been in power for 12 years, and every year an immigrant population the size of a city has been imported in the UK. They just talk the talk and it gets worse. Yeah, after I finished my dinner, I saw a bit of a speech that Liz made today, and it was like, basically it's just, I promise you, I'm going to do good. Okay, let's see it then. Those hysterically warning Elon Musk's Twitter takeover is a threat to democracy are the same people who lobby for Twitter to censor a perfectly legitimate news story onto Biden's laptop weeks before a presidential election because it embarrassed their preferred candidate. Biden expressed complete disdain for reporters attempting to ask him questions Tuesday as they were manhandled out of the state dining room at White House during a closed abortion task force meeting. Fox News reporter person once again exposed the hypocrisy of the Biden administration by asking the White House press secretary if Joe Biden is still responsible for changes in gas prices after they spiked again. Reported concern and even hysteria about Musk's purchase and control of Twitter has always been driven by an obvious fear, totally different from the one they claim. Liberals are petrified Musk will stop censoring their adversaries, that's all there is to it. Interrupted brother, you know the rest. BBC's Jeremy Bowen pretends to be on the front line whilst a woman looks on seemingly bemused. So, if it were just here, I'm in Ukraine where you can see in the background the ruins of a building. It looks like a bridge, but, with simple editing techniques, it could look like the ruins of a building from a war. So, but then, not just one woman. I see someone else, can't tell if it's a woman or not, but the fact that these two are here means this was not filmed during any war. They just went out the back, put on your press, body armor, and helmet, and pretended to be in the middle of Ukraine.
If you are there to do a job as a compassionate person, there are no resources, and you are told persistently on the news that, care homes are being ring-fenced. It's a lie, and I'm sorry, but if you have voted Conservative, you do not deserve to be resuscitated by the NHS. If you are there to...
Registered nurse Miranda Hughes says she is being sacked for saying Tory voters do not deserve to be resuscitated by the NHS. Does she deserve to lose her job? I don't know if she deserves to lose her job, but for people who vote Tory, everyone deserves healthcare regardless of how you vote. Like, if you do not get to play God and decide who and who doesn't get medical help based off of whether you politically agree with them or not. Because what if you had to get medical help and your doctor's like, if you vote Labour, you do not deserve to be resuscitated? How would you feel then? Cancel culture is just taking responsibility for your words. Not content with staying in its lane as abortion champions, Planned Parenthood has produced a cartoon aimed at children promoting the virtues of puberty-blocking pharmaceutical drugs. I think this might be the speech I was talking about.
We're with our friends and allies to support Ukraine in the face of Putin's brutal war. The brave Ukrainian people...
The one that your predecessor prolonged over and over and over again.
The brave Ukrainian people aren't just fighting for their security, but for all our security. This is a fight for freedom and democracy around the world. Putin's illegal annexation of Ukrainian territory is just the latest act in his campaign to subvert democracy and violate international law.
Bojo.
We should not give in to those who want a deal which trades away Ukrainian land. They are proposing to pay in Ukrainian lives for the illusion of peace. We will stand with our Ukrainian friends, however long it takes, Ukraine can win, Ukraine must win, and Ukraine will win.
There are British boots on the ground in Ukraine, but no one in Britain seems at all curious about this, nor does anyone in the US, even though British forces are virtually always a functional subsidiary of US forces. Instead, they just scream war cries like, Ukraine must win! Did Liz say anything about immigration, or was she too busy bragging about sending more of her money to prolong a war 1,500 miles away?
No, this is from the sitting president of the United States. This is from Joe Biden to his son, Hunter.
Hey, pals, Dad, it's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least if they're not online, this is going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think you're clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
I mean, that's it. That's staggering. The sitting president of the United States. That's Joe Biden in his own voice telling the American people, I was always well aware of the business ventures my family was involved in, so much so I could tell my son I read a detailed article that has 50 facts in it. Imagine just sitting in a room with national security and the intel agencies with that article, talking about corruption, talking about China, talking about the Chinese Communist Party, the Liberation Army of China. Joe Biden is saying, I read that article and you're in the clear, Hunter. And he leaves that voicemail for his son.
Why do people still, to this day, defend Joe Biden? The media suppressed truthful information with dishonest fact checks and false allegations in an effort to manipulate the outcome of the 2020 election.
Confirmed actually by Foreign Affairs, which is not normally where you'd expect to see this kind of thing confirmed. But there was a peace deal, somewhat tentative but very promising, that was agreed back in April, where Russia had agreed to withdraw to their February 23rd positions in return for you.
Now, if you tell the school about this, they'll call you a liar, because I've tried that out, and that's what happened. You know, when they first asked for the articles, I thought, oh, you want articles on Ukraine? Yeah, I'll give you an article on Ukraine. And it was only from a couple of weeks ago. You know, Boris is responsible for the fact that it's still on. No, you can't do that. Why? And she'll never give a reason why I couldn't do it. Probably because she loves the Ukraine war. Like it's so complicated because like they hate Boris, but they love Boris because he's prolonging the war. When you like, you know, they don't want a peace deal for some reason. They want Ukraine to win. It's just, I want a peace deal because it would stop the violence immediately. Like, Ukraine isn't going to win tomorrow, but they could have a peace deal tomorrow and there'd be no more violence. That'd be it over. So my point is that a peace deal leads to less lives being lost. More people are alive with a peace deal than from one side winning. Whoops.
Ukraine's promise not to seek NATO membership. Reportedly, Israel told Zelensky to accept it, but then he refrained from doing so after the US declared that they'd send another $14 billion in aid. And after this surprise visit from Boris Johnson, who just showed up, and then suddenly the next day, the peace deal is off. And it's incredible. We had the Washington Post basically coming out and admitting that NATO wanted to prolong the war. And it's this absolute sick hypocrisy and irony. You know, for all the moral grandstanding of those who denounced Russia for launching this barbaric war of aggression, those same people really don't seem to want this barbaric war of aggression to end, do they, Richard?
Oh, no, of course not. You know, like I said, Paul, there's a lot of money to be made here, and they're going to drag this out for as long as possible.
There's a lot of money to be made here, and they're going to drag this out for as long as possible. Paul and Richard Medhurst on who really blew up the pipelines and why the military-industrial complex wants to prolong the war in Ukraine. Everyone on Twitter should watch this, especially Elon. Okay, sorry for a second there. I thought that I had ended the video, but luckily not. So the link was just to one of Paul's new uploads. I haven't seen it yet because I'm putting my focus on that thing. I'm not saying what it is yet. I mean, I'm not going to finish it in time, so the review will be a long way away. But I'm still the one to give the name of it out. Seeing people crying over threats to democracy if Elon buys Twitter successfully lobbied for the elected leader of the free world to be banned from the de facto public square. They're the real threat to democracy. So Steve posted this. I'm guessing it means she's pregnant. If so, congrats. Obviously, Marcus replies with a chat face. The weird part is, he tries to pull it every time. His dick is just so long, he never makes it. Gonna be another girl. If you've just linked me, I will find you. Imagine being so loved by the real internet that the ribbing they give you is, you have a big hog. This is cyberbullying and I will section 127 all of you. Have we got to the point where having 3 children should be socially unacceptable? We've got to the point where having 1 child is socially unacceptable. Can't legislate against or even penalize it physically because children should never be punished for their parents' choices. But having 3 children as the world burns is surely not okay. The hell's wrong with you? I remember this as if it was like last week. Just came and sent my wife, Cope, Sieve, Maud, and now she is pregnant.